Hi, this is Arjuna Arda, and as you may know, if you've been following me on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Arjuna Arda, as you may know, I answer questions every week. Not everybody can come to the weekend seminars that I'm teaching or attend trainings online, but there are people who are kind enough to follow my awakening coaching work. So if you have a question from anywhere in the world, once a week, I answer your questions by video. And here's today's question. It comes from Israel, from Ruthika. I would like to ask you something about awakening coaching that I don't understand. Starting with a client, we give him or her a questionnaire, and he writes his goals. We then reframe them and clear the way by doing radical releasing and giving him practices. Things may change in the 8 to 12 weeks, but there seems to be a gap. We can't promise anything to the client if it's an inside job. We are only there to support and be there looking at him as perfect and capable. Who says he will achieve his goals? Can you see the gap I'm writing about? So this is a great question that Ruthika has answered, and I'm going to answer it not only about awakening coaching that I teach, but about any kind of coaching. The question points to the gap that we all experience, if we're honest, between our experience of something today and our intuition of our potential. Okay? The potential might be infinite, but it's this gap between my experience of what is and my honest intention of what could be that we could call evolutionary tension. Not all tension is bad, you know. There are some tensions that are good. Evolutionary tension means that dynamic pull between what I'm experiencing now and what I intuit is possible. So in coaching, that evolutionary tension exists within the client or the coachee. It's not something done to you by the coach. Okay? So when somebody comes for coaching, they say, for example, I have great things to say about, let's say, psychiatry or art, and I'm not saying them. So my situation right now is I'm not putting my ideas out into the world in a way that could benefit people, but I have an intuition that's my destiny, that's my role, and that's the evolutionary tension. Or somebody might say, I'm lonely. I know I have a lot of love to give. I'm a loving, caring person, but I'm lonely. So my situation today, if I'm honest, is I'm lonely, and where I'd like to be is giving love. That's an evolutionary tension. Now that exists within the client. If somebody robs you of that and tells you where you should be, you're in a hierarchical and very often a patriarchal situation that we've lived with for thousands of years. What's revolutionary about coaching is that it's up to you, or it's up to the client in the coaching context to be aware of these evolutionary tensions. Now, the client probably cannot resolve that evolutionary tension on their own. Why? Because of resistance, because of inner sabotage, because of distraction, because of laziness, because of all the things that you and I know perfectly well keep us from living our true potential. So that's where the coach comes in. The coach is not there to promise you anything. The coach is there to say, I see that you're being honest about where you are today. I see that you have clear intuition and vision about how you could be living your life. I believe in you. That's what we call inspired certainty in awakening coaching. That's something we cultivate. I believe in you enough. I see your potential enough to know this is possible. All right? So you're not going to say to somebody who's not finished high school, I believe you could get a PhD. That's unrealistic. It's got to be that the coach feels, yes, I see you are a loving person, you are a good person. There's no reason why you shouldn't be in relationships. It's just habits, and I believe you can have that. If the coach believes that, the coach is saying, I'm going to enter into a collaboration with you for 8, 10, or 12 weeks. We're going to collaborate together. You have the intention, you have the clarity. I'm going to encourage you and point you to the right practices, and I believe that if you hold your vision and do the practices, you will have what you say you want. Now, this is different than the coach promising, I can give you anything, and the coachee is just passive. But on the other hand, it's different from the coach saying, you can do all this on your own, you don't need a coach. They need each other. That's coaching. It's a collaborative relationship. They recognize, I can't bring these evolutionary changes in my life on my own. I've tried and I failed. There's also the awareness somebody else can't do it for me, but in collaboration, we become brilliant.